Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. Today we'll begin a new lab. The new lab is called the Startrek lab. Okay, the Startrek lab. Okay, this lab will be in the Star Trek universe. We will discuss in this lab a lot of concepts. So without hesitation, let's begin. Here, this is the logo of the lab, and then we will have our lab scenario. So let's give it a little bit of a look here. Here what we can see that we will have in this scenario, we are talking in this about Star Trek universe. We will have 17 Star Trek ships, okay, with its crews, groups, computers, robots, and etc., and we'll have the head commander to be the Starfleet. Okay, so let's discuss this little further. We have a scenario that there is something called the United Federation of Planets. This is in the Star Trek universe. This is a federation, or it's a union from all of the planets or different planets. So they have a federation called United Federation of Planets, and this federation or this union has a Starfleet command center. Okay, so this Starfleet command center contains a lot of ships. Okay, actually 17 ships. Okay, so these ships have names. For example, we have seen here that there is something called Columbia NX-02. This is all from the Star Trek universe. If you return to the Star Trek movies and the Star Trek series, all of these are real ship names, or the names from the movie, and also the characters are from the Star Trek series. Okay, so here we have the Starfleet command center that contains 17 ships, okay, or 17 ship, and in our scenario we need to make a domain that will be created in the Starfleet command center, and this domain we need all of the Star Trek ships to join this domain. Okay, so we will have the Starfleet command center. This will be here we'll make our active directory, and then we will make 17 organizational units, okay, that represents 17 ships, and every organizational unit or every ship will have its users, its groups, its computers, its everything. Okay, so every ship will have users, groups, computers. So we'll have 17 ships, okay, and every ship will have users, computers, and groups, as you see in the diagram. Okay, and every ship or every name of this ship, okay, will be considered as an organizational unit. So let's have a look. What about the active directory structure of this lab? Okay, so I can give you a look. For example, here we can see that we will have our organizational structure. Actually, all of the users, computers, and organizational structures will be created using PowerShell script. So here we can see that our domain will be named StarTrek.local. This will be the name of the domain, and then we will have an organizational unit called Starfleet. Okay, and then we have another organizational unit called Starfleet Command, and then we have a third organizational unit called Starships. Okay, so Starships, this is the main OU, or the main organizational unit, that will contain under it 17 ships. Okay, so Columbia, Deep Space, Enterprise NX-01, USS Certus, USS Discovery, USS Enterprise A and D and E, Excelsior, Grissom, Hiawatha, Reliant, Saratoga, Shenzhou, Titan, Voyager. Okay, so all of these are organizational units under the main OU, which is Starship. If you return to the graph, so we will have here our our organizational unit. Let's consider it at the Starship OU organizational unit, and then we will have 17 organizational units. The first organizational unit, for example, will be Columbia NX-02. So this will be the organizational unit, and it will contain users, groups, and computers inside it. Okay, so this is the organizational structure of the lab. Okay, and let's discuss it further. Let's go further for the lab. So here, as we said before, we will have 17 ships with all of its crews, groups, computers, etc., and the head command will be the Starfleet command, or let's say this, it will be the main organizational unit will be the starships, okay, and we will have all the ships under this organizational unit, which is named Starship, and then we will have organization called Starfleet Command. So Starfleet Command controls all of the ships under it. So this is the main controller, okay, so this will control all of the organization units under it. I will show you all in the lab how this will be done, but take that in consideration. So after that, what we will do here, we can see that there will be 17 subnets for each ship, and this will be IP version 6. So let's consider that these organizational units, or these ships, every ship, okay, will take an IP address, and this IP address will be IP version 4 and IP version 6, okay, and not only this, we will give every ship every ship will have an IP address different than the other one, or from a different IP address range, and this IP address will be using IP version 4 and IP version 6. So okay, we will use both. So every ship will have a range, as we see here. For example, this Columbia NX will have a range of 11.53. This is the way the IP version 6 it is written. And then we have Deep Space will have another IP version 6 IP address, which is 11.00800. So every ship will have its range, okay. So here I can show you all also a little bit of a graph concerning this. I have already prepared something. So here we can see this is the subnets. So let's close this structure. So here, as we can see, that every ship, so the Starfleet Command will have an IP range. This is the IP range, and this is the start and end of the range. And then I have another, or a sub network. So we have a main network, it begins from here to there, and then we'll take a small subnet from this main subnet. So we have a main subnet and a subnet, okay. So we will have one, this is the range that will be given to the Starfleet Command, and this is the start and the beginning of the range, and then this is another range, it will be given to Columbia, the ship. This is the second range, and then we have a third range to Deep Space, okay, ship, and then we have something called the Enterprise NX1. This is the range. So all of these are prepared in an Excel sheet. I will show you all how we can do this, and every range it is prepared for the start, when it will, the start range and the end range, okay, and the location, okay. So this is another thing. So here we can see from this one that we have already, let's have it here. So we will have here 17 subnets for each subnet, IP version 6. Okay, so I am here just considering that the ship will have two subnets, one for the computers and everything, and the other subnet is for example, IPTV, sound, light system, access points, so and so. And then try to have the VLAN concept involved using this subnets, and all characters and ship names are real and from the Star Trek movies universe. And then each organizational unit, so here this will be an organizational unit. Each organizational unit will have an IT member to delegate control to him to manage his OU. So let's consider this. He will have our Starfleet Command Center. This Starfleet Command Center will have the general IT. It will be here in some place, and this general IT, he will have supervisors or assistant on every ship, and he will give delegation for every IT assistant to manage his ship or to manage his organizational unit. As I said before, the ship will be an organizational unit. So here I am giving the IT the control over his organizational unit. He will create users in his organizational unit. He will delete users from his organizational unit. He will create groups, computers, so on. So this will be done in each organizational unit. Okay. So this we will have delegation, as I said before. There will be a DHCP to manage IP allocation for 17 subnets and the failover. So as I said before, we will have an IP for every ship, IP version 6, IP version 4, and we will have a DHCP to distribute the IP addresses, and this will be in the command center. And we will have a failover DHCP, or we have a redundant DHCP, or let's see, a second DHCP. So if the first DHCP is down, the second one will be working. So this is for redundancy. And then we will work with a system called DFS, or we will discuss a concept called DFS, or distributed file system, for file shares. Okay, and there will be two servers, okay, for redundancy and shares. So here we will have two servers that will contain the department shares, or the shares for all of the ships, okay, so they can access their shares. And with this will not only will be one server for the shares, we will have another server for the shares that will be a copy or a replica from the first file server. So let's consider this. We will have let's consider to have a file server that will contain the department shares, okay, so every user can access his share or data. And then we will have another file server, okay, this will be a replica from the first server, and they will sync the data between them, so they will be they will have the exact data all of the time. So this we will do it also for redundancy. So if we have two file servers, if one of them is down, the users will still be able to access their department shares or data using a system or a concept called DFS, okay, or distributed file system, okay. And we will do another thing here. We will have the files in the shares, or we will have the files on the share of the departments, or the files which are shared between the ships. We will classify it by the file resource manager. So we will have an option that we can classify the files. For example, as we will see further in the lab, for example, if the IT is sharing a file, his files and documents will be tagged with an IT, okay. For example, if the HR is having files that are shared, his files will be tagged as HR. So when I search for the files, I can easily identify which file is for the IT and which file is not for the IT from the tags that will be done on the files, okay. And then we will use something called DAC, or we will use another option called dynamic access rules, or dynamic access control. This makes us, or it's a kind of permissions. For example, we all know if we want to have a certain Active Directory group to access a certain folder, we can do this using permissions, okay. So this is the normal procedure. But what if we need a certain, for example, I have the IT group, it will access the IT files or the IT department share, or the files shared for the IT. But what if I need not all of the IT to access the files in the IT share? I need only the IT manager to access certain files and the rest of the IT to access the other files. We can make further delegation or further permissions by identifying that certain Active Directory users with certain attributes. For example, if you are creating the user in the Active Directory, and for example in the field of title you put, for example, IT assistant, I need to use this attribute in the Active Directory to control or to tell him through permissions that, for example, I need the Active Directory user with the title IT assistant to access certain IT files in the IT shared folders. This can be done using something called DAC rules, okay. We'll also discuss it in this video, or in the upcoming videos. And then we will do another thing here. We will have a group policy to limit every member of an OU to only access PCs in their area, or OU computers only. So for example, here I have users on this ship, okay. The users are here. I need the users here to access the computers in their ship, but a user in Columbia NX, for example, will not be able to access a computer in Deep Space Nine, okay. So he can only access his computer in his organizational unit or in his location, okay. So this also we will do a group policy to control this, okay. And at the end, if we have something like uh, statistics, we will have 110 organizational units, and we will have 1674 groups, active directory groups, and we will have 1600 or 1062 computers, and we will have 936 robot or 936 robots. This is also computers, and we will have active directory users 278. Okay, by this statistics, this is the largest lab I have created until now. This is the largest lab I have active directory objects by this number created in it, and we will of course we will create all of the organizational units, groups, computers and robots and users. All of this will be done using a PowerShell script. Okay, so this is the lab. I can show you all, for example, how the users, some of the names of the users in every ship, and some of the groups in every ship, and some of the computer names in every ship. So let's show you a little bit of a graph here, or a little bit of show you what it means. Okay, just a moment. So here, for example, if we can, for example, go to the scripts, and there we can see that let me show you all first the users that will be created. So for example, here is the users, and all are real characters from the Star Trek universe, or the Star Trek series. For example, here we can see that for example, James Kirk, if you know the Star Trek movie, there was a captain called James Kirk. Okay, so here we can see all of them are real characters. James Kirk will be there, so he is the captain of the Star Trek Enterprise. Here we can see all of them are real characters. Okay, and they have real names, so they are real characters from the series. Here is the username, and here is the department. So here, for example, here I am naming it, for example, this man, he's on the USS Discovery. He is a lieutenant or something. He is an augment on the ship USS Discovery. Okay, so this man is there. And then, for example, Ayla, here is she is a human on the USS Voyager ship. Okay, so this is a way I can identify which user in which organization unit, or in which ship. Okay, for example, here we can see that the department, it is the USS Voyager human, so he is on the ship US Voyager, the human section. Okay, and the providence, this is the Starfleet command. All of these ships are on the Starfleet command center, and this is the password. Okay, and here we have another thing. Here we have the division, or this is the race. Okay, so this is user is an augment, this is user is a human, this is a white Cyanide, this is a species, and this is the Borg, a very famous species in Star Trek. So these are the species. Okay, and then this is the company, Star Trek universe, and this is the title. Okay, so here we will add a title. Every one of them will have a title. Through this title we will control which type of files he can access. For example, this is a captain. Okay, and this is a lieutenant. Okay, and this is a commander of Klingon Empire. Okay, this is a civilian, so this is the title we need. And then the office, this is the location. So here this is the USS Discovery, this is the ship, and this is the ship, and this is the organizational unit that contains the user. So he will be in the crew on the USS Discovery, in the ship's organizational unit, in the Starfleet command center, in the domain Star Trek.local. Okay, so this is the users. I can show you all. This is the users, and then let's have a look on the groups. Okay, I have showed you the organizational structures. Let's see the security groups. Okay, so here, for example, the groups are named according to the ship name, and then the group itself. For example, here is the human group on the ship Columbia NX. Okay, so this is humans on Columbia NX, and this is the android species on the Columbia ship. For example, here we can see I have made, for example, an IT. Let's here, for example, this is the Colombian IT team. Okay, This is the Colombian, or the IT on the Colombian ship IT. Okay, I forgot to say something to you guys. For example, here, as I said before, this will be the Starfleet command, and all of the ships will be under it, or this is the main organizational unit, and this will be sub-organization units from it. Okay, I admit something here. For example, here is the IT group on this ship, and this is the IT group on this ship. Okay, what I have did, I have created a global group in the Starfleet command that will contain all of the IT members in all of the ships, and this will be on all of the groups in all of the ships. For example, in every ship or every organizational unit will be an IT for the organizational unit, and then will be a global group that will contain all of the IT groups in all of the ships. For example, there will be an HR group in every ship, and then will be a global group that will contain all of the HR groups in all of the ships in here. So the Starfleet command will have global groups for all of the groups on the ships. So for example, if I need to have a group policy to be applied to all of the IT in all of the ships, I will make it from the Starfleet command global group. For example, I need to have a group policy to be applied to all of the HR groups in all of the ships, so I will have a group on the Starfleet command global group for the HR that will contain all of the HR groups on all of the ships, and they will be a member of it. Don't worry, when it comes I will discuss it further. So here, this is the naming convention. So every ship will be group will be named according to the ship name, and then the department, or for example, like I show you IT. For example, this is USS Certus. This is another ship. You can see here, for example, that there is an IT for the USS Cert. So this is the type of naming that you are working with, and here we can see that this is the description. For example, if we go further, here for example you can see Columbia. This group is Columbia NX2 ship argument species group. For example, if we can go further, so for example we can have the IT group or the information technology. So let's go further. So here is the IT. This is the Columbia NX ship information technology group. So this is some groups from different things. For example, here we can have the computers, some naming of the computers. For example, here the computers on every ship also will be named according to the ship, and then the type of the computer, and then the department in this ship. For example, COLNX02, this is the abbreviation of Columbia Nexus ship, and this is DU, this is a computer type, and ENG, it is abbreviation of engineering section 01. This is the first computer in the engineering department, and this is the type of the computer on the Nexus or on the Columbia ship. For example, if you go to another thing here, for example, if you go to Deep Space Nine, so this is a Deep Space ship, and this is a computer on Deep Space ship, and this is for the Department of Engineering. This is the first computer. Okay, so this is another type of, or the naming for the computers. Okay, and so this is how we will work in this lab. Okay, this is for the naming or the Active Directory objects. For example, let me show you also a little bit of login script. We have discussed the login script before. We will have a login script to be applied to all of the Active Directory users in every ship. Okay, we need to have certain things to be applied for every Active Directory user in this domain, to have certain language installed for him when he logs in, to hide the Cortana when he logs in, to have the time zone for Cairo applied for him, and some performance setting. And I need every user when he logs in with his Active Directory user to have this PC, this PC appears for him on the desktop, and this PC text to be changed to reflect the computer name. So the computer name will be changed and replace this PC text. Okay, so this is the login or Active Directory login script. We have discussed it in the previous labs, Mass Effect lab, DC Comics lab, Tron Legacy lab. We use this script very often. So this is a script also that we will use. So I have discussed the scripts and the group policy templates. I've discussed this also before in previous videos, and we will have certain backgrounds. For example, I have this background to be applied to all of the Active Directory users in the domain. Okay, so this is the one, and I will have a certain lock screen to be applied. Okay, this is the one, and certain things. So I think, okay, so this is in brief what we will discuss in the in this lab. This is a very short introduction, but it will contain everything. So in our lab we will make an Active Directory, and we will have 110 organizational units. We will have 1674 groups, 1062 computers, 278 users. We will have 2 DHCPs. Okay, we will have 2 distributed file system servers. We will use DAC rules. We will have 17 subnets, okay, for the spaceships, and we will use IP version 6 IP, and we will use IP version 4, and we will use the VLAN concept, and we will make delegation for every IT to manage his users and groups and computers in his ship, and we will have to limit every user to access his ship's computers only, and not to access other computers in other ships. So I will discuss this further in the upcoming videos. Hope this video is informative for you all, and would like to thank you all for viewing. This is the icon, or this is the lab. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.